there should be a parish development committee in every parish, because that has so been enacted by the Local Governance Act of 2016. So the Parish Development Committee is really a voluntary group that brings together people, communities, government agencies, civil society organization, academia, all citizens to participate in the sustainable development of the parish. And I say it very simply, we bring people together, we develop partnerships with people from every sector of life, and we develop sustainable development programs. And that's how the Parish Development Committee operates. Many people think that we're government, but we're actually a voluntary organization that works very closely with governments, departments, ministries, agencies. And what we do most of all is to create a space for everyone, especially young people, to have a voice in everything that takes place within the parish of Clarendon. So what we do is to create a platform for citizens to take charge of their own affairs by developing partnerships. I'll just give you a brief history. We started the parish development committees as parish advisory committees, and at the time there were subcommittees of the then parish council, which is now called municipal corporation. So in 1999, the whole concept of promoting democratization, meaning giving citizens a voice, started in 1999. Eventually, it evolved into a parish development committee, which was seen as an independent arm of citizens who would work together to look at development planning and community projects from an integrated joint-up perspective. We have been doing quite a number of projects since then. The first project that we started really was a reforestation project in the Pleasant Valley area. It started because Jamalco had been mining out land, so we had these huge cavities that were left by Jamalco, and so we engaged them to reforest those areas. And our first partnership started with Jeff SGP, that is Global Environment Facility Small Grants Program, and we started with the community just replanting trees that could be used as an agroforestry plot. So they would plant those trees, and then in between, we would have cash crops that could be used for the community. Then we went on to water security. So the very first communal tank that was rehabilitated was done again in Pleasant Valley, because we wanted to look at water security for that area. And so this tank that was abandoned, it's a big tank, maybe it can hold 10,000 gallons of water, because they said that it was leaking. It had what we call a barbecue, and that is where the rain falls and then it filters down and feeds the tank. So we got some funding from Jeff SGP as well as the Environmental Foundation of Jamaica. And we were able to refurbish that tank with partnership with the parish council at that point, because the parish council has responsibility for minor water. What we introduced was a solar pumping system. So we introduced solar energy to that community, and that was one of the first communal tanks that we did. Since then, we have done a number of them. We did one in Richmond Park. We have done in Victoria, and I can go on. But at that point, we were focusing on building food security and water security. We have also done projects in terms of youth entrepreneurship and looking at strengthening women who have been exposed to violence And we started projects that looked at improving the skill sets of ladies, doing trauma counseling with them, doing basic capacity building. Also, we did some work with some of our women in strengthening their business skills through JBDC and HEART, and giving them a grant to start their businesses. So when we started the youth entrepreneurship, it was mostly with women, and then we expanded to young men as well. And it supported the Parish Council's Youth in Business program. Last year, we completed a program called the Biz Bridge project, and that was funded by Canada Lead Fund, where we empowered 30 young persons to develop and their own business. So for those who did not have a business, we boosted their capacity. For those who wanted to start, we gave them a grant of $150,000. But we also supported them with training from HEART. We support strengthening families and parents. So one of our strongest projects was through the former USAID Positive Pathways, where we did a stronger parenting, stronger communities project, and we targeted 3 major areas in the Maypen area. And that was Effortville, the Maypen community, and Palmer's Cross. We had a series of awareness building sessions which looked at strengthening parenting skills. So basic skills like stress management, budgeting, understanding child development. We engage guidance counselors, social workers to participate in that project. But along with that project, we sought to improve the self-reliance of the young women and men that were involved in that project. And we ensured that we gave them a little skill. For some persons, they completed a housekeeping course and got a level 2 certification. Why I say it's one of the strongest projects, they are still very active. We have an active WhatsApp group. They are still participating in everything. For Effortville, they have been empowered to begin strengthening the work that they have been doing with the Humble Lions Youth Club. So they are in fact having their own planning and having their own Christmas treats, back to school treats, 5K run or walk. They participate in every capacity building workshops that are available to them. Violence prevention and empowerment of girls is another major project that we are involved in. We also have been involved in climate smart agriculture and food security with a number of primary schools. I simplify it by saying that we are doing school greening projects. So the idea is to introduce to primary schools the concept of making your school green, meaning that you use those strategies around the school that will enhance and protect the environment. And by doing that, we promote food security, school gardening. We enhance the curriculum at the schools because what we are doing with those schools is a part of their curriculum. So in those schools, we have installed greenhouses. We train them in greenhouse technology. We train them in composting. We introduced renewable energy. So we were able to give them solar systems. And it is not something that is in isolation. So I pause here to say that the work that the PDC does is really in tandem with what we have as the Clarendon Local Sustainable Plans. This is the strategic plan for Clarendon. And I don't know how many persons, Clarendonians here and abroad, know that we are one of a few. parishes that was able to complete a local sustainable development plan and are still using it. So all the projects that I mentioned, all the work that we have been doing with young people in terms of environmental security, water security, it is referenced within our Bible, our plan. And our plan was not done in isolation. We work at the PDC at 4 different levels. We work with community-based organizations, what we call a cluster of communities, and management group that's called a Community Development Committee at level 2. At level 3, we work with a cluster of communities that surround a township called a development area. And that is the group that sits at our management committee level and takes the issues to us. And then finally, at the 4th level, we work as a PDC. But all of what we talk about at every level is documented in our local sustainable development plan. And while we have a 400-page document, the twins will show you that we have a popular version as well. And I just want to say that what we do is that we tie in everything that we do into this document. We at one stage realized that we didn't address the matter of violence prevention and empowerment of girls. And so what we did through the sponsorship given through UNDP, the United Nations, and the European Union was to add a chapter that had to do with violence prevention and empowerment of women. So we are constantly reviewing the documents. When the new administration for the United States came in, we realized that there was a need to address migration, and also from the point of view that we have a lot of persons who are going off on farm work or are just migrating to different countries. And so we realized that we did not completely address that topic. So we have decided to add another chapter, and it speaks to migration. Our management committee consists of the 8 development areas across the parish, and starting from Top Clarendon, Kennetts, Chapelton, Spalding, Frankfield, Muckle, Lioneltown, Maypen, Milk River. And what we do is to ensure that we have representation from all of those areas sitting at our monthly management committee meetings. And we also ensure that the municipal corporations are part of that, the Chamber of Commerce, and any other entity. And most importantly, we include our youth. So the Clarendon Parish Youth Council is a major part of our management committee. They sit at the table and they have a voice in all the decisions that we make. And so Termario Daniels, who is the president, sits on our management committee. And beyond that, the PDC, the Parish Development Committee, has a very good history of involving volunteers. We partner with the Heart NSTA, we partner with high schools, with universities, UTEC, UWI, Caribbean Maritime Institute, in hosting volunteers so that they can get the necessary experience that they need to build their careers. And we have volunteers, young volunteers who are sitting in every sector. We have police officers, we have teachers, we have social workers, we have business persons who have passed through the Parish Development Committee since we have been around and are doing well. Once you have stepped into the PDC Secretariat, you are considered family. We treat you like family. And that is how we own the skills of our young persons. And we don't stop there. We encourage, we beg, we force them to grow. And for many of our volunteers, that's how they have gone continued on to university. That's how they have continued to pursue different endeavors. We also do another project, and that is done yearly through a subcommittee called the Clarendon Crime Prevention Committee. And that is one of the babies of our founder, the Honorable William Shogori OJ, and says OD as well, JP, because he believed that for us to prevent crime, we have to have a partnership between the police and the community. So one of our flagship programs is that every year we do an annual Christmas treat. And we do that in collaboration with the Clarendon Police Division, the private sector organizations, not only in Clarendon, but across the island. And what we started with was just to have little fairs, little one-day fairs where we got bounce about and merry-go-round and clowns and mascots. And we did face painting, and we gave the children gifts and ice cream, treated them right through the day. When COVID came around, we decided that we needed to change because we couldn't have that interaction, but the persons were still in need. So we developed food packages, and we worked through the 83 primary schools across the parish, and the police delivered food packages to the most vulnerable students. And so when Hurricane Melissa hit us, our chairman, our honorary chair, Honorable Shagori, said to us, let us go back to what we did with COVID. And the young volunteers that we have, they are the persons who did the legwork. They helped procure the items, package the items, 1,000 packages. And for this time, we targeted Upper Clarendon, and they helped with the delivery. And this was all done and has always been done with the inclusion of the young persons who volunteer in our office. And so we give them all the experience that we can. If there is a conference to be held, if there is a meeting, Miss D is going to send the volunteers. No matter how young or how green you are, you're going to go and you're going to get the experience. I gave a greenhouse to Simon Primary. I can't complete that without talking about Simon. So we gave a greenhouse to 4 schools. It was Maypen Primary, the ladies, Victoria, Rock River, and Simon. Melissa decimated 1 or 2 of them, but we are getting back them together. But Simon was able to continue, and I think since they have gotten their greenhouse, they have had about 4 to 5 harvests that they have. They have done things like sweet pepper and lettuce, pak choy, callaloo, even scallion. Yeah. And what they do is to help in promoting better nutrition for the children. So it feeds the canteen at the school, but beyond that, any surplus that they have, they're able to sell that, and they have been making a profit. And out of that, they can continue to do their greenhouse. The children, especially those in grade 6, are able to see live and direct integrated science right there in their schoolyard. And they're excited about going into the greenhouse. You're about working with people in all sectors, building the partnerships, because we can't do it by ourselves. We are NGO. Half of the time we are without any funds. We have an office because the Honorable William Shagori was able to give us a space. So without those partnerships, we do not work. It's about developing those partnerships with the municipal corporation to be able to sit in on their meetings and hear what is happening, to work with the SDC and hear what the CDCs are saying at their level, to work with the international funding agencies to get the funding, It's hard work, but at the end of the day, what we do is we develop sustainable programs. Sustainable programs that will look at the future generation. What we are building is for the future. It's for everybody who is coming up behind us. As the lady says, start simple. Start with your family, because that's where I started. My family taught me to give back. So start with your family, move on. If you're going to church every day, and church is just about spiritual development, look at how you can do outreach programs so that you can catch a fish, technically.
Yeah.
And start with outreach work at your church. There's the community safety and security branch, and they are empowered to form police youth clubs on persons and neighborhood watch groups. So start there. You could say to a police officer, boy, I have 3 or 4 of my friends. Can you help us to form a police youth club? It could be that you engage to a teacher at schools, at the school. So there are 4-H clubs, there are environmental clubs, there are PE clubs. Go to the school and say to the principal or senior teacher, I want to form some, I want to become a part of something. Because what persons don't realize is, for example, you may have a 4-H club in school, but there are also community 4-H clubs. And most importantly, there is the Social Development Commission. They are the chief mobilization agency in the island, and they are empowered to form groups. They are located at 8B Manchester Avenue in Maypen, and they have what is called community liaison officers. And their responsibility is to help to guide you, build your capacity in forming groups. So they'll teach you about organizational development. So if you want to form a youth club, talk to them. There's the youth empowerment officer. And on Trenton Road, right next to the exam depot, there's an office there. Gareth Warren is the manager, and he is the youth empowerment officer. And they have what is called a Clarendon Parish Youth Council. You can get in touch with them and volunteer, and they can help you to form a youth club in your community. So there are a myriad of different groups. If you want to form a young farmers, you can reach out to JAS about a farmers group. If you're a young person and you're into farming, there are so many good. And of course, the Clarendon PDC. If you are interested in forming a group, you can call us. Our numbers are 876-442-3007 or 876-430-0. And of course, Art NSTA does voluntary service as well. So if you want to give service, say you left school and you're not employed, apply to the Heart NSTA, and they have the National Service Corps and the HOPE program. They also have the RAP program where you can apply and you can be placed at an organization to work, and also you can volunteer. And I go further. Every university and every high school asks that you become a part of a club, whether we call it extracurricular or co-curricular. Every organization asks, and there's a reason for it, because it builds your skill set, it develops your profile as an individual, it helps you to become multifaceted. So it develops skills that you didn't think that you have. And so you can start just about anywhere. There is a myriad of organization. Even if you're a young business person, you can talk to Mrs. Witter right on the platform and you can become a part of the Chamber of Commerce. every organization, almost everyone has a youth arm, and you can become a part of that organization. And so whatever we do, it's about working together. And that is what the participatory governance is about at every level. Seek to build teams, seek to build partnerships, and rather than being contentious and criticize and being aggressive, build partnerships and seek to understand the other party's point of view. And advocacy can be about building alliances rather than being aggressive and being very, very distasteful. So we can encourage each other and build stronger communities and just give each other a voice, prop each other up, and build, just cheer ourselves up and build a better Clarendon. Is about building skill sets. It is giving back, it is organizing, it is supporting the vulnerable, it is supporting yourself. When you actually put yourself out there and share your vision and give a little, your blessings are multiplied. And it's not a cliche. You get so much. The reward is tremendous. I mean, if you're willing to contribute and to learn, the sky's the limit. Without volunteerism, community development is dead, because development will take place only on the basis and through the voice of technocrats. But we have to listen to people. My advice is simple: get involved at any level and just give, and you will receive.
Through the work of the Clarendon Parish Development Committee and the involvement of committed young volunteers like plumbers, we see how participation at every level helps strengthen our communities.